How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 325, entitled The Bonds of One for All.
It's a sacred torch. One person improves the power, then hands it off to another person. It continues to grow as it's passed along. It is this cultivated power that allows me to save those who are in need of a hero, the truth behind my strength. And you're next. I can give you my abilities.
Now, I am curious to see what kind of bonds we are talking about in relation to One for All, but we should be getting the conclusion of Deku finally being accepted back at UA. Because coming off of last chapter, we ended off Ochaco's speech with her yelling to everybody, this place is Deku's Hero Academia, and that he deserves to stay here at UA. And upon hearing this, Deku just falls down to his knees, overcome with emotion, and just starts bawling his eyes out as we end the chapter with seeing both Koda and our Fox Lady rushing to his side with the ending line, and this is the story about how we all became the greatest heroes.
We're training to become the world's greatest heroes. That's right. This is My Hero Academia.
But for right now, going into this chapter, I am just curious on what else needs to be said and done in order to have this crowd accept Deku and have him stay and rest up at UA. So, mount ladies and gentle criminals, without further ado, let's dive right into chapter 325.
Run.
And on the first page, it looks like we are picking up right where last chapter left off, where we can see Koda running in towards Deku.
Mineta! Stop it already!
And it looks like Mineta was running in as well. We can see him yelling Midoriya as Ida puts his arm out to stop Mineta in his tracks. What gives, Ida? This isn't our moment. Isn't that right, Uraraka? And we can see Ida looking up towards Ochaco, where you can see tears beginning to well up in her eyes as she is realizing that her words just inspired Koda to run in and save Deku in this moment.
There are stories about every hero, how they became great. Most have one thing in common. Their bodies moved before they had a chance to think, almost on their own.
And we can see Koda and our Fox Lady arriving next to Deku and trying to pick him up off the ground. And we can just see Koda bawling his eyes out just like Deku is. Midoriya, I'm sorry. I was too scared to run over here. Sorry. So sorry. But then that lady stood up and said that stuff. I had to try because I want to be like you. That's why I am here. Get it? You don't gotta cry anymore. You'll be okay.
Trust me, Koda. It will happen. You'll meet someone, and then you'll understand why we do this. Someone who will risk their life. Hey! Someone who will be...
Koda!
a hero. My hero.
Koda right now, he said the line, I am here. He is reassuring Deku and is basically coming in to be his hero in this moment, acting just like Deku. You love to see this. This is awesome. And we can see Deku looking up and saying, oh, Koda.
What does the fox say?
And we can see our Fox Lady walk up and just begins to pick up Deku off of the ground like he's some small child to her, picking him up with ease. You're a UA student then? Yes, miss. Several shelters turned me away. No heteromorphs allowed, they said.
What? What did you say?
Wow, that is racist.
What the fuck?
It was one rejection after the next until UA finally took me in. But, well, this means I get to see you again. How lucky for me. Thank you for saving me, my crybaby hero. Oh, and she is saying that as she begins to cry. That is such a nice, cute nickname for her to give Deku in this moment. It's very fitting. And we can just see Koda and our Fox Lady hugging Deku tightly as the rain is coming down. This is such a nice moment to get with these two with Deku. But, and this is a very big but, we are getting a very nice shot of some Fox Lady booty.
Oh, jeez, look at the butt on it.
Extra spit!
Deku is a very lucky man right now getting hugged by this tall, thick woman. His good deeds are not going unrewarded right now. And we can just see a silence fall over the crowd as they are watching these two hugging Deku.
I'm back, bitches!
Yo!
It's time!
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Okay, okay. I'm about to shit on this bitch right now.
Don't tell me Starman from Chapter 1 is going to stand up for Deku right here.
You've much yet to learn.
What is he about to say? We can see him stepping up and telling the All Might fanboy right next to him to hold his umbrella, because I bet you he's about to drop some knowledge on the crowd right here. Instead of freaking out and laying blame every which way, why don't we take a moment and hear these folks out? The boy's not asking to kick up his feet and stay here forever, right? But supplies and good help are hard to find out there these days. So if the boy needs a break before the world grinds him down to nothing, this place is his last best bet. That's the long and short of it, right, heroes?
Correct!
And the Starman looks over towards Nezu as we see him bowing and saying, indeed. Why not Shiketsu then, if they've got the same setup? Except they'd probably react the same way over there.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
Exactly. If this is how the crowd at UA is reacting, Shiketsu's gonna be reacting the exact same way if Deku arrived over there. To be frank, until our world went to hell, I never really realized it myself. How I was like a spectator and heroes were performers on a stage.
Action!
Ooh, bringing in the limelight stage analogy right here. Basically saying that all the civilians got complacent as the spectators, watching the heroes perform their role upon the stage. And the hero leading that stage production was the symbol of peace, All Might himself. Once upon a time, the unmatched All Might showed us all how to be a hero. He was the act to follow, and everybody cheered him on. But along the way, people forgot about the heart and soul that made the man. The stage is gone now. The theater's knocked down. With failure after failure, heroes can't be hoping for glory and riches at this point. So many of those folks we once called heroes have hung up their capes. Think about it. Those ones who are still left, still fighting, what do you think they're fighting for? Yes, I am so glad he is bringing that up, because there have been a lot of heroes quitting who were in it for the riches and glory. They weren't true heroes. But for the ones that are still here, still fighting, those are the true heroes that everyone right now should be supporting. If we reject the ones still standing up for what's right, what do we even got left? How will there be any chance in hell of going back to our old lives? Sure, we're all hurting here, but let's stop and use our heads. How long can we be spectators on the sidelines? Give this man a round of applause right now. Who would have thought that Starman from Chapter 1, who called Deku a fanboy, would be coming to his defense 324 chapters later? Amazing. And he is backing up everything that Ochaco just said in this moment. Because Ochaco needed a few citizens to rise up and stand up for Deku, and she got Koda, Fox Lady, and Starman to do so. and they will be the ones helping to persuade the rest of the crowd that they need to actually support and get behind the heroes that are still here fighting for all of them, including Deku. Love to see this. And after that speech, we just see silence over the crowd again, but we can see that one dude that kind of rallied the crowd to get angry after Best Jeanist' speech, and then we just have silence coming from the All Might fanboy, but after a brief moment, he begins to speak again. There are rumors of a guy with multiple quirks dressed in rags. They say he's either an agent of the villains or maybe a true hero. So tell us, say you get to rest here for now, will we get to go back to our old lives eventually? Everyone is in this together with me. So, yes, we'll bring it all back.
But for everyone who's cheered me on, for everyone who's acknowledged me, I'll become a hero! Plenty of people in this world are hurting. And so, I want to become someone who can show them a bright future!
Let's go, Deku. Making that guarantee that there is a brighter future ahead for everyone. And just look at him in this panel shot. Seeing the tears running down his face as he is gripping Gran Torino's cape. But look at his eyes. You can see the drive, the determination, and hope beginning to return, as well as seeing that he is no longer of the mindset that he has to do this alone moving forward. Because he says, together, we'll bring it all back. He is going to need his friends helping him out moving forward. And we have this shot with Class A listening to Deku, showing Ito with a smile on his face, Bakugo looking unfazed with what Deku is saying, but our man Kirishima in the middle is a blubbering mess right here, just crying his eyes out, witnessing all of this manliness around him.
Listen to these guys! They're so manly!
My God, pull yourself together!
Kirishima right now needs to pull himself together and rein back those tears just a little bit. And we can even see the All Might fanboy starting to get choked up upon hearing these words from Deku.
Meanwhile,
and it looks like we are cutting away from the crowd and going outside of the UA barrier with Endeavor, Hawks, and Shoto,
Hello there.
who are being greeted by ectoplasm. Did you happen to hear Uravity's speech? Come in and see for yourselves. All is well, at least for the time being. And we can see the four of them entering the UA barrier, and we got reaction shots of Hawks, Shoto, and Endeavor looking towards the crowd as Endeavor says, in the end, all we did was cause more pain for Deku. No real progress, just a roundabout way of getting to this point.
sit back down, man. There's more to it than that.
Then we see Hawks right next to Endeavor saying, no progress. I disagree. We're seeing it here. One for All is a network of power that links people's hearts. It tied All Might to Midoriya. Then Class A kept Midoriya in the game, and Uravity linked these people to Midoriya. If everyone, if all of us, are even a little bit capable of seeing each other as united as one, then I see a future where heroes have time to kill, one so bright, we can't help but grin.
It's a sacred torch. One person improves the power, then hands it off to another person. It continues to grow as it's passed along. It is this cultivated power that allows me to save those who are in need of a hero, the truth behind my strength.
I want to live in a world where heroes have too much time on their hands. And I'll make sure that happens. As quickly as possible.
Yo. And with this double page spread right here, we can see the citizens gathering around Deku and his classmates, with some people beginning to share their umbrellas to shelter the students from the rain. That right there is great to see. So this is what the title meant by the bonds of One for All. It's the connections that Deku has been able to make over the course of the series, and it's through those connections that this current bond is being formed that's going to greatly help the heroes and the citizens moving forward.
Izuku, my baby.
Yo, and if you look on this double page spread, you can see that Mama Midoriya has made her way to Deku's side. This woman has been put through the ringer emotionally these past couple of chapters, and even though she is crying in this moment, you know she is just happy that her boy is safe and sound and is back at UA. And right next to Inko, we can see Ida standing there in what's left of his tattered Ingenium costume, but you can see he's still got a tight grip as he holds on to Deku's hand. And we also have the All Might fanboy sheltering Deku from the rain with the umbrella he got from Starman. Nice to see that this guy is finally coming around, and before long, we're going to be turning this All Might fan into a Deku fan. I guarantee it.
What did you say?
Of course. On the left side of the page, we got Bakugo being Bakugo right here. He is staring down the guy that caused the riot right after Best Genius' speech, and you know Bakugo is not going to let that slide. He is giving this man the death stare right here as Kaminari walks behind him and just slaps him across the head, basically telling him, Bakugo, we don't have time for this right now.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face? What?
He has too much pride. So then, what do I do with him?
This double page spread right here has a lot going on, but it is amazing, and it is guaranteeing to me that the mission to bring Deku back to UA has been successful.
I see now.
And then we get a shot of Shoto standing there just watching as the crowd embraces his class, but then he says to Endeavor, Father.
You called me Dad.
Shoto just called Endeavor father right here. That's how you know Shoto is being serious in this moment right now. Father, we do this together.
Endeavor.
He is trying to remind Endeavor that the Todoroki family has their own personal battle that they have to fight, and as both of them are thinking about Toya, we just see Endeavor tilting his hat down, shading out his eyes, as he says, yeah.
Wherever I go, the wind follows. And the wind, it smells like rain.
And then we go over to Principal Nezu, who's holding an iPad in his hand. This was beyond my power, but your class achieved it. Aizawa! And we finally get to see Aizawa again. He was teased in last chapter, and this is basically confirming that he was watching this entire time through his iPad. Just look at him in this panel shot. He is rocking the pirate look right now with that new eye patch, but you can see a small smile on his face as he says, be sure to tell my class president, job well done for me.
I'm honored to have them as students. My class 1A.
He is a proud teacher in this moment with how much Class A has grown and improved over this past year. How's the leg faring? I won't be the next Mirko, I can tell you that. And we also get a shot showing off Aizawa's new robotic leg.
New legs.
And I'm guessing he's still adjusting to walking around with it, but he does mention my girl Mirko, and I am hoping we get to see her sooner rather than later. And Kurogiri. And now we're moving right on to talking about Kurogiri. I try to speak to him every day, but no progress on that front. The breakthrough you and Mike had was the inspiration to ship some Nomu, Kurogiri included, to Central Hospital in secret and begin restorative research. Really? So Kurogiri has been at Central Hospital this entire time? I could have sworn we saw Kurogiri in a prison cell during the Prison Break chapter.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
So was Kurogiri moved before or after the Prison Break happened?
Questions for later.
I need some answers on that front, but it looks like we are now beginning to do experiments to learn more about the Nomu, and hopefully that will allow them to break through to Shirakumo within Kurogiri.
Yeah!
And I look down at the next panel and I see our boy, Little John, getting smashed to death by the door that Mirko kicked down.
Turn down for what? My baby boy!
R.I.P. to the best boy, Little John. He is sorely missed. The copy of his quirk was pulverized by Mirko, but if you hadn't reached through to Shirakumo's spirit that day, no place on this planet would be an impenetrable stronghold any longer. And we are flashing back to the moments when Aizawa broke through to Shirakumo.
Shirakumo! The three of us, we could still do it.
We can be heroes.
Tell me, the monster who did this to you, where'd they take you to mess with your brain? Come on, Shirakumo!
It was in the hospital.
Even if what they say is true, nothing will ever bring him back. He'd never be the person I knew.
It may be faint and as elusive as a cloud, but there remains a wisp of hope for us. And right now, they are relying on this new Nomu research to give them the breakthrough that they need in order to speak to Shirakumo once again. Still keeping up the strategy against Toga?
Hey!
And just like that, we change the subject from Shirakumo over to Toga. Yes, we have inferred the limitations of her quirk in terms of quantity of blood ingested and transformation duration. Accordingly, we are only admitting evacuees into UA after keeping them in isolation for long enough.
Whatever I take in turns into energy, so the more I drink, the longer I can hold on to the form. One cup lets me look and sound like someone for about a day. Plus, if I drink a bunch of different people's blood at the same time, I can turn into any of them.
So that right there basically confirms that Toga has not infiltrated UA as of yet, thanks to Aizawa and Nezu's countermeasures. Because now that they know how long Toga's transformations can last, they are quarantining evacuees for that duration just to see if a transformation does in fact time out. That right there is a smart move by Aizawa.
Getting me fired
Then
up.
UA really is our stronghold, and it's time for payback. Yes, of course. And it looks like Aizawa is ready to get back into action and to deliver some much needed payback to the villains. But as Aizawa says that, we go back outside at the UA barrier where we can see All Might right here, and it looks like he is turning around and leaving UA.
Please stop! If you continue like this, you'll face off against a villain and die an unspeakably gruesome death!
I don't like where this is going.
Yo, I don't like this. I am getting a very, very bad feeling from these last two panel shots right here. Why is All Might leaving UA, and why does he have that sad, somber look on his face right now? Does this have anything to do with Deku pushing him away and how they left things? Or does this have anything to do with All Might encountering Stain? I have no idea, but one thing I do know is that we've been getting a lot, and I mean a lot of death flags for All Might just within this arc alone. And this moment right here feels like it is planting another one firmly into the ground for him, and it has me very worried for All Might moving forward. But that right there is the end of the chapter. Next chapter hits September 12th.
Young Midoriya, listen. The embers inside of me have been snuffed out. The mighty symbol of peace is no more.
You have inherited One for All, and you may one day have to fight against this great evil.
However, I won't just sit here. There's still something I must do.
Yo, this ending right here made me go from very happy to very nervous very, very quickly. But overall, this was a great chapter that gave us the conclusion to Class A's fight to bringing Deku back to UA. Mission accomplished. And with the beginning of this chapter, I love the interactions that we got between Deku, Koda, and our Fox Lady, but the big surprise for me was getting to see Starman from Chapter 1 standing up for Deku and vouching for him to stay here at UA. That was a great moment to get. But then, with the ending of this chapter when it pertained to Aizawa, we finally got to see him again with his new eye patch and robotic leg, and we mainly got some setup when it pertained to Shirakumo/Kurogiri, as well as the new countermeasures at UA against Toga. But what I'm looking forward to is the reunion between Aizawa and Class A, and hopefully we will get a conversation taking place between Deku and Aizawa. I would love to get that. But then, the ending with All Might. Oh boy, that ending. We are just piling on the death flags when it comes to All Might. And right now, I'm just curious on why he's leaving UA, where is he going, what is on his mind, and when he speaks to Deku next, will it be when he's alive, or will it be as a vestige? I have no idea, but I am both excited and nervous to see where we go from here. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 325 of My Hero Academia. But for now, I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of the chapter and everything we got at the beginning with Deku, Koda, our Fox Lady, as well as our Starman vouching for Deku to stay at UA, and then everything at the end with Aizawa trying to reawaken Shirakumo, as well as the new countermeasures against Toga. And then the ending with All Might. Is this all leading to his death? And where do we go from here into next chapter? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon that you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction that pops up on the channel. But if you guys want to talk about other things or talk about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. That's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, we have chapter 326 of My Hero Academia. I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra!